Hey, this is Jared and Matt. We're back again to answer some of your questions. Thank you for sending those in. And we have another question, Matt, that I think is very important to answer. Again, people coming to our church from maybe different faith backgrounds, or maybe as a kid they remember certain things about their church experience. And one of the things we get questions about is, why don't we observe communion or the Lord's Supper every Sunday? Because that was a tradition for a lot of people growing up. So why don't we do that?
That's a great question, and we actually don't really observe it any Sunday in our morning services. But I know it's meaningful for people. I get that. I totally understand it. So let me explain why we don't do it on Sunday morning in our services, especially every week, but really we don't do it at all. It's because in our case with our church, we not only have a lot of believers who are sitting there in the room, but we have a lot of people who are exploring faith, who don't believe. We have atheists in the room every week. We have so many different people at different stages in their faith journey. So what we're trying to do is be a church people not in church love to attend as much as the Christians love to attend it. And we're trying to make them as comfortable as possible so that they can hear the truth and process it for themselves. What happens with communion, we've done it on Sunday morning before, but it takes me a lot of time to go through and explain it all because there's new people there every week. I have to explain it to the people who aren't Christians, to the people who are new. And then I have to say to them, hey, if you're not a Christian, just pass on this and opt out. So what we decided to do, instead of doing all that and potentially creating some uncomfortable moments or some misunderstanding about the meaning of communion, we celebrate communion at nights of worship because those are designed for Christians, for believers. And our small groups have the freedom to celebrate communion anytime they want. So if a small group wanted to celebrate communion as a group every single week, they could. It's obviously very meaningful to us. It's a reminder of what Jesus did and his death and his resurrection. It's something we should do. It's something we do. But we give a lot of the freedom for that to people in our groups to celebrate it whatever frequency they want.
Yeah, and that's the context that Jesus practiced it in the very first time, was with his inside group and those small groups to show what was going to happen in his sacrifice. And so I think it's a meaningful thing. That makes a lot of sense to me. I hope that helps answer your question. I hope that gives you some guidance on how we stand on that. And we want your questions. We would love to hear more about what you want to know about because Matt loves answering them. So you guys click the button, give him a good question to answer, and we will do our best. We'll see you next time.
See ya.